Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Ewan.
Good morning, Elaine.
Good morning, Ewan.
It's lovely to have you both here, and you two have something in common with us too.
Oh.
We are all multi-award winners. Yeah.
I feel like they might win this battle, Ewan.
I'm not sure that's true, actually.
No, I think it is true because we've done a wee bit of research, and you've all won many awards over the years. Did you not win a BAFTA at some point, Elaine?
Yes, for Shetland.
There you go. An amazing TV show. So yes, Shetland, you won a BAFTA. Peter, what did you win?
I won
It's the length of your arm.
I won a Royal Television Society North.
Did you?
Most
Was it not
promising newcomer.
Scotland?
No, there's a North department.
I know, I got that for Vera.
You got that as well. Yes. You got to be one-upmanship all the time.
I feel like you also
there.
have an Academy Award.
I won an Academy Award many years ago for doing a short film, which just confused everybody really because they think if you've won an Academy Award, it must be for being best director or best actor or something like that. And in fact, it was for best short film.
That's still an Academy Award.
Well, it's possibly the humblest Academy Award that you can get.
Where is that award?
Yeah, where'd you keep them all?
It's in
a room that's
it's in
also
my
full
own
of
room.
guitars. Yeah.
Yes, I have a room in the house which is like my den.
Got ya.
A man cave.
No, it's not a man
It's
cave.
not a man
No, sorry.
No.
Sorry, a people cave?
Yes, a person
A
cave.
cave.
So I thought you'd maybe have like a trophy cabinet that you have sat in the middle of the living room somewhere and you show it off.
No, it's a lovely thing. I have to say. I mean, I forget about it really.
Do you?
Because it's been a long time. And one of the nice things about it is because it's an old award. It's heavy.
Right.
It's heavy and it's like a real. It's not. I mean, with all due respect to award bodies, it's not that I'm shy of awards, but often they're like perspex doorsteps. Or they're like a kind of ashtray from the 70s.
They totally are.
Where did you get that ashtray? And you have to say, oh, that's an RTS award, actually.
Do you remember you won that one that was like a lump of rock from somewhere in France?
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I don't know what happened
Sometimes
to
they
it.
just get a bit of brick and you put your name on it and say...
That's art.
Well, what people don't realise is that there's award ceremonies all over the world.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you can get invited to them and you can get an award. But it's often just to draw attention to particularly a fledgling film festival, perhaps, it
Right.
needs some help. So you go along and they give you a brick with your name on it.
You're so
Or a potato.
eloquently. A potato.
Here's a potato with your name borrowed on it.
We could do that.
You could.
Now, you guys, I mean, you've been married for such a long time. It must be incredible to be able to work together and have these journeys like round the world with your different projects.
It's great, yeah. No, we're very, very lucky. I mean, people often say it's hard to work with your wife. Well, not when it's Elaine, because we're very much on the same page with everything. And I've always been, I mean, Elaine has a very, successful production career, which obviously I've witnessed that going on with great delight. But I'm in the house when it's all happening and a drama's going on, and this is so. And although I'm not involved in these other productions, I do see what's happening. So it does pass through my life. So it was nice to actually get involved, as we are in Criminal Record, and be part of that whole production.
So here's my thing. I've been married 31 years, Elaine. So I'm going to ask you this question. My wife can't wait to get away from me. To get a break from me.
Peter's infinitely less annoying than you, though. And we've only just met.
You're allowed to say that. I don't know how annoying you are yet.
In the next 5 minutes, you'll figure it out. But what is it? What does it? How does the dynamic work when you work so closely together and you've been married for so long? Do you find that there's some issues there at times? Do you take any issues you have on the film set or anything like that when you're heading home, or does it all work peacefully and harmonious?
Well, I know this is going to sound really annoying, but it's the latter. It isn't difficult at all. I think because we've always been, from the day we met, sort of almost instantly best friends. And I think we're also very in tune creatively. So if I'm making something, I always want Peter's input and advice anyway, especially if I'm in a crisis. So what's amazing about this is he is really, really involved in the show, and he is a very, very meaningful executive producer. It's not just a soap. He's really rolls his sleeves up, and he's involved in everything, right down to going in recce's. So it's just this. Honestly, it's just been such a delight for me, because having somebody you trust as much as I trust him, sort of being there all the time, making the show with me, has just been incredible. I mean, there's no downside.
It's great to have someone who can speak to you frankly. You know,
At the end of the day, just get it off your chest.
Maybe just bring
Especially
it
when
down
you're
a
an
wee bit,
actor.
Peter.
Right?
You know, and with all due respect to people who work with actors all the time, I work with actors all the time. Often we like to keep them happy.
Okay.
I like to tell them how fabulous they are every moment of the day. And they're not always fabulous every moment of the day. So it's nice to have somebody who actually can go, no. That is not good. You're not going to do it like that.
And if you
are
disagree with the no, it could be bad for you.
We don't have any, you know, that's the great thing is we very rarely disagree, but when we do disagree, it's for good reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's fantastic for me to have somebody like Elaine who can actually say, no, that is over the top, or that you're not digging as deeply as you should. You know, you're not doing your job properly.
Get your finger out, pal.
You know, I haven't spent years developing this whole thing and working on it all for you to ruin it at the last minute. It's fantastic. It's a kind of safety net for me, because she looks after me.
And vice versa, you
Yeah.
know, I mean, because I think we respect each other's opinions. So if we're looking at something creatively, and Peter has quite a strong opinion about it, especially things like the music, for example, which he really was the person who narrowed it down to the composers we have, because Paul and I were too busy, Paul Ruttman, and Peter just listened to hundreds and hundreds of composers and got it down to the last three. So actually Neil, who was in Massive Attack and produced Massive Attack, our composer, he sort of got to the point now where he's still polite, but until Peter's notes come in, he's not really, he's like, yeah, that's a great note, Elaine, that's a great note, Paul. Are Peter's notes coming in? Because and he's very upfront about that now. He just loves to get Peter's notes, and we're thrilled that he feels that way.
We will talk about Criminal Records in a little while. We're going to have a big section about that. But I did think the music was incredible, because
it's amazing.
It really lends to the kind of atmosphere of the whole series. It's a massively important piece. Well done, you choosing the right guy.
Well, everybody did it. And it's more. It's
Yeah.
Neil and Mikey J. Asante. It's two guys. Who, in fact,
Neil
we narrowed it down to the two of them. And I've never been through this process before, but composers have to kind of audition like everybody else does.
Oh, do they?
Yeah. So you send them kind of bits of the program, and they put a bit and. We loved both of them, but we couldn't choose between one or the other. And they were both with the same agent, and they just said, "Well, why don't you see if they'll do it together?" Oh. So that's what happened, and so that you have this fabulous combination of this very, Neil does this very dark and brooding kind of industrial kind of synthy kind of stuff, and Mikey does these incredible kind of organic kind of rhythms, and also there's these sad kind of cellos, and it's just a great combination, and they totally get the show. And I think they've done an absolutely brilliant job, because I don't like shows that are wall-to-wall music, but I think music is so effective.
Even
when
from
it
the
works.
titles, so the minute you hear the titles, you know what you kind of hope it's going to go the way that it does.
Yeah.
It fits really well.
Yeah, thank you.
So when you have this idea and then you see it on the screen, is it what you hoped for? Is it better than what you hoped for? Because you have a vision, don't you, when you're creating these TV shows, and when it's all put together and then you see it, what's that feeling like for you, Elaine?
I think by the time you've been through numerous cuts in the edit and been through the whole post-production process, you kind of lose the ability to see it the way other people do. So you're always a little bit tentative if you're going to have pulled it off, and if people are going to like it. Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Is there a lot of self-doubt there?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Everybody suffers from self-doubt, but weirdly, although people in show business are sort of commonly thought to be quite egotistical, I think they probably suffer from more self-doubt than other people, because you're sticking your head above the parapet all the time. Most people do their job and they're not going to open you know, The Guardian and see somebody slagging their show off, or their job off. So, no, I think it's quite scary, yeah. Of course it is, yeah.
Is there more pressure then, Elaine, because you've had so much success over the years? Does that add more pressure to you because everyone's expecting something brilliant from you?
I don't think anybody is thinking about Elaine Collins is going to bring us a brilliant show. I just don't think that is what is going on. I hope she's not going to let us down this time, for God's sake.
Did you always want Peter to be the lead role, though? Was that always in the plan? Did you always want that part?
We developed it really together with Paul, because Paul Ruttman, I don't know if you know this, the showrunner and the guy who writes most of the show and who's a truly brilliant writer. We originally developed Vera together, so we've known each other for many years. So when really we have never done this before, we talked about developing a show and developing and with Kush too, and I got in touch with Paul, and Paul just happened to be free, so it was always being built around those actors right from the start.
So Peter, you were always in it.
Yeah, so that's never really happened to me before.
But you were also part of the development. It wasn't just like we went off and developed scripts and then turned up with them. You really were a big part of the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the nice... I mean, again, it goes back to the marriage thing. Because we're married, we were able to talk about films that we liked and the kind of thing that we wanted to make, and we were very... I mean, we've always been very taken with these... there was a period sort of in the 80s when they made a lot of movie thrillers set in London. And you get like The Long Good Friday, and you get Mona Lisa, and these films which are both kind of quite hard-hitting, but they're quite romantic as well, and they all use London as this incredible backdrop. So we were very keen to do that because London is a great setting for thriller kind of movies. But I was reminded of our discussions earlier on. If you've seen season one starts with, you don't really know who I am, but I'm like a driver. It's eventually revealed that I'm a detective, but I'm driving some people to the BAFTAs, really, and I sort of revealed to them that actually I'm a policeman, and I'm only doing this on the side, and that actually happened to us. That was sort of real. Yeah, that's where that scene came from.
Yeah.
What?
Because we were being driven to some award ceremony to get an ashtray.
To get a potato that had Sharpie on it.
And I were chatting away to the driver, as you always do, and he began to reveal that we passed a street, and he said, "You know what happened up that street?" And I said, "No." And he said, "Well, somebody was locked in there and got beaten up over Christmas, and they didn't find the body for 3 days, and all this kind of stuff." And I said, "How do you know?" He said, "Well, I'm a
That's right.
detective." And they were all, and it turns out that because a lot of these detectives are trained in high-speed driving and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They use them on the big, and they all do it, and thereafter. You know, I discovered that more or less every big ceremony I was going to, there was a policeman driving me. So we folded that into... I thought that's a great start for a show.
That is.
So we folded that into the show. Because also he, as my character does, reveals some things that he perhaps shouldn't. But I was reminded of it this morning because very kindly... Apple, who are Apple TV, who financed the show and are behind it and all that. They sent a driver for us, and he was wearing a hat.
Was that a detective chief inspector?
I didn't ask him.
If he's a cop.
I remember when we were developing the script, I said, "No hat."
You said, but that wasn't about the driving. That was about being. When we talked about where you would be in the police, you said, "I don't care where I am in the police, but I don't want it to be a part with a hat."
Fine
details. Yeah, you've got
exactly.
grey
You haven't
hair.
kept your hair to this age to cover it up under a hat.
That was my signature hair.
So, Apple TV, criminal record. What is the premise without giving anything away?
For series 2, which lands tonight.
Yes, it lands
Today,
tonight.
actually.
So,
Today,
Yeah, it's on today.
so tell us a wee bit about this.
Oh, who's going first?
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing to say that makes it distinct from season 1. Season 1 was a cold case, and we were introducing our two characters, and they were sort of adversaries, and one was chasing the other. This series is a live case, and it. I'm trying. It's
It's hard.
so hard.
I know what you mean.
I mean, I think we've done sort of what we did the first time, in the sense that you start in one place, but it keeps opening
Yes.
out into a bigger story.
And it gets to a wider.
Exactly. You
Kinda
know,
like
you think
it
you're
grows.
chasing one smallish thing,
Correct.
but then you realise, okay, it's much bigger than I thought it was, and it involves. I think I can say this because it's already in the blurb. Sort of trying to get to. A bomb before anybody else does, before somebody else does, or before it can go off.
Go off, yeah. And
Tension, I can feel the tension. But what I loved so much about the first series is the dynamic between you and Kush, the two sort of adversary detectives.
Yeah.
The whole way through it, it's compelling. Is that knackering for you? Because it's like such an incredible part to have to play.
No, it's lovely because I mean, I know Kush. We've known Kush since she was very young. I was actually in like an episode of Torchwood with Kush when she was very young, and I also directed her in. I did a series called Getting On with Joe Brand for BBC4, which I directed, and she was also in Vera.
She was in Vera. I cast her in Vera, yeah.
So we've known her for a long time, and of course she's blossomed into this hugely successful and
She's amazing.
amazing actress. And Kush and I just decided. We said, let's not rehearse. So what we never sit and rehearse and go through the lines or anything like that.
you don't have a table read, nothing like that.
Well, there's a
Oh, no, we
table
do have
read
a
for
read,
You do a table read, but you don't do an actual rehearsal before the
She
scene.
and I won't rehearse. No.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
the other actors might rehearse and stuff, but
Right.
we won't rehearse. We'll just go, let's see what happens. So
Because it's
we'll
more
just go.
natural then, isn't it?
But these scenes are incredible, though. I mean, I'm not blowing smoke, you know where. But in terms of, because you're too far away, in terms of chemistry of two people on screen, I was absolutely fascinated by it because both of you are a little bit flawed, and like even till the last one of series one, I couldn't work out whether I really distrusted you or I liked you a little bit. And then as your story kind of unfolded, you're like, oh, that's why he does that, and that's why he does that. But the two of you together are dynamite.
Oh well, thank you. Well, she's amazing, but I think that's. But you know, we just like to let the cameras roll. I don't mean we don't learn our lines, and we just do what's in the script.
Yeah.
But we don't sit and plan. I don't see what she's doing until she does it.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa. So we just let it roll that way. And I think that's a good way of doing it because they are quite, they're up against each other all the time. But at the same, it's one of the things I like about the show. They are enemies, but it's not just black and white. You know, they're also people and they have lives and they're quite layered. So that was one of the joys of doing it, really, was working with
it was
Kush.
brilliant. Well done.
And Elaine, what did you make of Peter's performance in season 2?
In season 2, as opposed to season 1.
Yeah.
Could he get a potato with his name on it for this one?
I thought it was great. You know, I love that character. It was very specifically developed for Peter, and to not the dark side of Hegarty, but that sort of thoughtfulness and that stillness is much more the Peter that I know. I also think what's brilliant about season 2 is that, you know, we've brought in new characters, and also we have other points of view. It isn't just Hegarty and June's point of view all the time, and there's just some absolutely fabulous acting. Actually, I shout out to Nathan Toth who cast the show, because he just brings in so much choice, and I just think the standard of acting in both series is really, really high.
So what's next for you two? Obviously, you got Apple TV right now, Criminal Record. Is there anything else on the horizon with Apple TV in discussions for season 3? Are we in discussions for season 3 with Apple TV?
Well, what I would say is everybody ought to watch season 2,
And then we'll
if
get
enough
season-
people watch it, we'll get a
I
season
forget that's
3.
how it works now, isn't it? Yeah, you have to.
Of course.
Would you like a season 3?
Yes, I would. Yeah.
Yes.
Have you
Yeah,
got an
I would.
idea for season 3?
Yeah. Yes.
You do have an idea?
Yeah, we've already got one that we're sort of discussing a lot. Yeah, to be on the safe side, so that, you know, we've got something in the bag should it go to a
you've
third
got
season.
pen to paper already for season 3. You've got a working title, a working idea. And
A working idea.
A working idea, yeah.
Now, Peter, you're like apart from the acting, you write, you direct, you do everything. You love your music as well. You had an album out last year. We even saw you on stage in Glastonbury with Franz Ferdinand, which is hilarious. That must have been so much fun. Peter, your head's in your hands.
Why do you got your?
That's iconic.
You're on stage at Glastonbury.
Doctor Who on stage with Franz Ferdinand.
Come on.
I'm laughing because it's like a dream. Did that really happen? And I can't, because they just phoned up and said, would you like to
Well, they
come
just
and play with us at Glastonbury?
They just phoned up.
Well, what happened is I have my own small music outfit, and Charlotte, who plays the bass in my outfit, is very close to Audrey, who plays the drums in Franz Ferdinand. And I think she'd reported to them that I'd been saying to my band, look, this has to be like a Franz Ferdinand song. It has to be a heat-seeking missile. It has to be really disciplined. So they already knew that I was a fan of Franz Ferdinand, and that must have got back to them. So Alex just phoned me up and said, would you like to come and play with us at Glastonbury? And I thought, well, that took about 2 seconds to go, oh, yeah, yes, of course. But I didn't know what they wanted me to sing. I thought it was going to be, I don't know, there was a song on their new album called The Doctor's Orders or something. I thought it was going to be some naff kind of Doctor Who kind of thing.
You arrive in a TARDIS.
Yeah, and he said, I've done all that. I've got my own dry ice, which I carry with me just in case of these things. And he said, no, we'd like to take me out. I said, what, your biggest hit? He said, yeah. I said, oh, God. And I didn't know, I haven't been to Glastonbury. I mean, I love music and all that, but I don't like standing about in Wellington boots, not being able to see because some guy's got his hippie chick on his shoulders right in front of me. And I can't see placebo, because of them.
Yeah.
So I'd never been there. So when I arrived, I thought they were, because I knew that there was the pyramid stage and all that. And we got there and there was this gigantic stage and they said, that's it. I said, what? I said, because I thought we were going to be in a tent or something. I said, no, what's this? And then they said, oh, it is live, and I didn't know that. I didn't know it was going to be on the telly live.
It was on the telly.
Tell me,
he was out live, and he because I waved him off in the morning because he said to me, "Do you want to come?" I was like, "No." And so Christine picked him up in the morning, who looks after his music. Christine Dinwoody, who's a dear friend too. So she came in a Mini, and the two of them drove to Glastonbury, and he had no idea till he got there that it was a big stage and that went out live, and I didn't either actually.
No, you didn't know.
And then the two of you, you did it, and then you get back in the Mini and come home.
Back. And also
rock and roll.
Rock and roll was in bed by 9:30. And I didn't know, because I don't go to football or anything like that, I'm not used to being around a crowd, so I hadn't. So when I heard the crowd, before I went on stage, they were watching somebody, and I heard the crowd, and I heard the sound went right through me. Like that, I thought, Jesus, is that what? But it was great. I mean, it was just, that's why I'm laughing, because it's like a wonderful dream that I had. It was exactly the way it looks. I went on stage, and all these people cheered, and they went crazy, and it was a beautiful day. There was a lovely breeze. I was with a fantastic band. You couldn't lose, even if you'd messed it up, it would have still been funny and it'd been a laugh.
And see, when you got in the Mini, and you were driving home, did you have to pinch yourself?
No, I just said, get me out of here. I was happy to be leaving.
You go home, you're like, you're never going to believe what happened.
No, it was fantastic. I'm eternally grateful to them because it was a beautiful day, and totally, it's just one of those things that comes out of nowhere, and it was just joyful. It was just such a laugh.
You've got to write these stories down because they're just brilliant. And you've had such an incredible career in terms of the characters that you've played as well, right? So obviously, Malcolm Tucker, iconic. Doctor Who, folk just adore. Yeah. And now I think Daniel Hegarty is going to be right up there as well because he's so dark and he's just compelling. Of the three, who would you most like a night out with? You thought that was going to be a deep intellectual question. No. Who would you like a night out with?
I think probably Malcolm Tucker.
Yeah.
I think because he'd have some really good stories and also he'd have some really good lines and he'd be funny and be very indiscreet. And he'd know all the best curry shops to go to and all that stuff like that, and he'd tell me lots of gossip and entertain me.
Fabulous.
One final question for Elaine. Out of the three characters that Kat just mentioned, who would you like to be married to?
Oh. Or who's he most like?
Who's he most like? I think he's most like Doctor Who, probably.
We can all interpret that our own way.
Yeah. I mean, mean, I think I like Malcolm Tucker just because I really, really love politics, but I can't imagine it'd be fun to be married to.
Right. Okay, so Doctor Who, because he's out of this world.
Because Doctor Who's sort of lovely.
Yeah.
And you could go time travel and space
Absolutely.
travel.
So
Aye.
you used to be married to Malcolm Tucker. Because I used to go and practice in the kitchen.
Oh yeah, it
You
used
could-
to be. But also what would happen is because there was so much improvisation in it and you'd come home and you'd just be having a normal conversation and you'd just be like effing this and effing that and he's a C and I'd be like,
Yeah, but I'd be practicing my lines in the kitchen. She'd go upstairs and watch the telly or something like that, and I'd be practicing my lines in the kitchen, and then I'd come out and go, "The lawnmower's no fucking working." Where's the remote control? I put the remote control down there. And I'd do a huge rant because I was still in the Malcolm Tucker zone.
It has been an absolute pleasure to spend some time with you both. Thank you so much.
you.
And listen, the best of luck with Criminal Record. I'm sure you're going to get season 3 on Apple TV.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you get season 3.
Well,
Thank you
as
so
I said,
much.
Criminal Records season 1 was one of my favourite things I've watched all year. I
thank
cannot
you.
wait for this entire season to drop. Apple TV, it's on today.
Thank you.